Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Anime Watch Club, a bi-weekly group discussion and review show where the cast of the What Do You Say Anime podcast nominates and votes on a variety of shows that we either wish to watch for the first time or shows that would lead to a great discussion. On today's episode, the gang will be talking about the 2016 original anime 91 Days. Let's meet today's constituents. First up, we have the US's number 4 Hamtaro Dojinshi writer. We have Kat. Kat, how's it going?
Uh, okay. I normally like your intros. That one got way too
Too close to home?
no, just I get I'm an entire reviewer, but no, just no.
We're glad to
He's
have you,
the
Kat.
number 2 Hamtaro Dojinshi writer.
Yeah.
Get your fucking facts straight, baby.
Hey, I checked the rankings before the episode started. You were at 4.
And you were fucking wrong.
Hey, don't blame me, blame the internet. Up next, our first moderator tonight, the man who uses the perfect amount of butter when cooking his lasagna. We got Don Arco's number 1 lasagna slut. We got Miles. Miles, how's it going?
Fun fact, I don't like lasagna.
Yeah, but you don't have
I
to
don't
cook
either.
it.
Yeah, but I am a lasagna slut, all the same.
Well, we're glad to have you. And cosplaying Angelo's little brother on the inside, we got Pat.
Who?
Angelo?
He gets murked in the first episode.
From 91 Days,
Yeah.
you know the show we're reviewing?
Oh, that's right. His name's Angelo. Okay. Yeah. Cosplaying his little brother. Damn.
On the inside.
On the inside.
Yeah, because you're
Okay.
dead on the inside.
Young and riddle but bullet.
I explained the joke.
Jokes
Oh,
are
see, now
funniest
that
when you explain
it,
them.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Now you
mean,
explain
people,
the
it wasn't
joke,
hitting.
I
I
think it
might
was
as well.
funny.
I might as well go for it.
Yeah. No. Hello. I guess I'm about as alive on the inside right now as I've ever been. I gotta say, I'm back from a friend's wedding. I'm ready to talk about a show. Yeah, not yours, Miles. Get the fuck out of here.
Damn.
No, it was yours. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to talk about 91 days. So let's get our stuff going. As always, we'll do a spoiler-free intro, what we thought about the show initially, if we'd heard of it before, yada yada, anything that you feel is important before then saying whether you would recommend it to someone else or not. Give it off your first impressions, what your general thoughts were. So Miles, why don't you kick us off?
Sure. First impressions. I mean, I thought it was a good show. I mean, like it was totally fine. The hook's interesting enough. It's like a revenge story. I dig revenge stories. Um, it's got like a sort of Prohibition era setting, and by that I mean it has exactly a Prohibition era U.S. setting. That's where it takes place. And I think that that's fun. That's a thing I dig. Don't expect to be blown away, but like if you like anime and you like mob stuff, or revenge stories or whatever, give it a watch. It'll be fine. You'll enjoy it.
There you go. All right. Just occurred to me how small our cast is today too. We only got 4 of us. So we're it's just hitting me how few numbers we're gonna have adding up to the score, and then how few nominations we're gonna have too going into next week. Kat, what have you got?
So my first impressions of it, since I was the last person who nominated it. So this I have heard about it for a long time and has been on my watch list for a long time, and I've heard that it's really, really good. And I was kind of looking for an excuse to nominate it, but I didn't really have one until we watched Bakano, and then I heard all the comparisons of Bakano to 91 Days. Uh, Basically the setting. Um, and really, I wasn't necessarily blown away by the art because the art isn't the greatest thing in the world,
No.
but it was a pretty intriguing story to me. So
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah,
All right. Would you recommend it?
I would recommend it. Yeah.
Alrighty, cool. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. The art was it was art. Art is in the eye of the beholder, right? Pete, what have you got?
Yeah, so mobster like anime is pretty underrepresented in anime. We get some like more of the Yakuza since this is a Japanese medium that would make more sense. We get Baccano, 91 Days, and Gangsta are like the three that come to my head. So this is the number two mobster that show that we've done. Yeah, normal revenge gangster plot like to set things off. I think we're probably gonna talk about it. We're gonna do like comparisons to Baccano, The Godfather, and other mobster things going on. To me, I didn't really grasp onto anybody where I was like intrigued by anybody in the show. That was kind of like the biggest turnoff for me. I had some qualms with like the animation and some of the dialogue, especially if you watch the dub. I thought that was very up and down in terms of the quality. But if you're looking for that mobster style of show, I thought 91 Days was a perfectly fine anime. I would recommend it to anybody who's looking for like the mobster anime. I don't think it's as good as Baccano, but it has different elements than Baccano that I could see people enjoying this more than that.
Yeah, that's fair. I for myself, I didn't enjoy it more than Baccano. I kind of wished I got to watch Baccano season 2 rather than this, but we'll get there someday, I hope. Maybe. Probably not. Um, but yeah, I think I generally agree with what everyone else has said so far, where it's like, would I recommend this? I'd say I think I could, but I not that I don't think I would, but I definitely could if someone asked me, "Hey, what's a mobster anime?" I wouldn't like feel bad suggesting this show. I again, I think it was very very mediocre. The art wasn't anything to. The art was not only not great or not like something to behold, but it was also pretty bad at times. I thought, which I don't normally notice that in anime when I'm watching. Like I don't sit there and go, "Wow, this scene looked terrible," very often, and I think I did a few times while watching the show. And it just lost me. It felt like it dragged a little bit. I didn't enjoy. I do like revenge plots, and I do like mobster stories, or I have enjoyed them in the past. But I think maybe just again, this is a tough comparison to make, but I think The Godfather's just ruined stories like this for me. Because I'm just like, oh, it's not as good as The Godfather, which of course not many things are in fiction in general, let alone mobster fiction. So I don't know. I think again, I would recommend this to someone looking for like a mobster anime, but or mafia related anime, whatever you want to say. But um, I don't know. If you're just looking for another show to watch, I'd look elsewhere. That's my take at least. But yeah, so that's our spoiler-free review or introductions. Now, going forward, there will be spoilers for the entire series. Pretty heavily impacted by spoilers, I would say the show is. So keep that in mind as you go to continue listening to us or don't. So yeah, all right. Does anyone have any specific talking points that they want to address first?
Can we talk about the biggest plot hole in the entire show?
Absolutely. Go ahead,
Okay.
Pete.
This is gonna be half joking, half serious. The fact that they labeled their episodes as day one, day two,
Yeah,
day three,
it had nothing to do with the chronology of the story.
and the show is called 91 Days. Excuse me, the show should have been called 12 Days.
Well, it took place over 91
I
days.
know, Miles. That's the joke.
But
Stop making me
but
explain my jokes.
Kayla and I talked about this and how annoying it was. So I agree. I thought about bringing this up, but then I thought it was like too stupid to bring up. But thanks for bringing it up.
No, I mean, I actually have a qualm with the 91 days thing that Angelo is able to infiltrate's probably the wrong word, but hopefully you catch my drift, that he's this respected lackey of the family that came in a matter of months. He's just like, yeah, I trust this. At the one of the last episodes, it's like, oh, I forget what's his alter ego name that he uses.
Uh,
Shoot,
Azalea.
is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
Azalea.
So he's like knocking on the door. It's Nero's dad and the other Don. It's like, oh, it's Azalea. I trust him with my life. I'm like, you've known this dude for like 6 days. Like, what do you mean you trust this random lackey who's like essentially a henchman with your life? Like, I thought that was like a silly like plot, because like one thing I really liked about like The Godfather is the time skips that we see throughout the story, where you see Michael as a child and then becoming a teenager, moving to Italy, coming back to America. Those time skips, like, you earn your loyalty to the family through time and respect and all that stuff. And it's just like
Can I ask a question?
Angelo's there for 6 weeks and he's already the bodyguard for the Don. What's up, Kat?
Miles, have you seen Godfather?
I have.
Okay, so so far I feel like this whole discussion is just going to be three dudes comparing it to The Godfather and the one dude that hasn't seen it.
I'm gonna
Well,
compare Goodfellas. Don't worry.
Yeah, so I was gonna mention this.
I don't
later, but
like
guess
seeing old
we
white
can-
men act all the time, man.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I mean, they're
That's pretty
Italian. Come on.
They're
white!
olive.
That
They're
doesn't mean
olive.
shit!
No, they're olive.
Italians are a different branch of people.
Yeah, they're
They're
worse
still
than
white.
white people.
They're a different
actually.
olive branch of people.
Yeah. All right, good. We're gonna just go over my joke. Good. That's good. We probably
Welcome
should ignore
to what do you
This
say,
is all
anime
our
This is the
next week
discussion,
with
the
only two
podcast. That's what
co-hosts
it seems
after
like it is.
after two of them got canceled for some insensitive racial
What?
comments
Yeah.
about the
Yeah,
Italians.
no, I
Oh.
deserve to be canceled.
Okay,
because
I'm sorry, Italians. My bad.
Yeah, my fault. I'm 1/8 of me is trying to cancel me right now, so I think I'll survive though. But I did want to bring this up because our general vibes that we were getting from the show, at least from the that I understood, was that Miles thought it was pretty okay. I thought it was pretty okay. Pete thought it was pretty okay, and Kat, you liked it a lot, right? That was my.
Yeah.
Would you say that's a fair thing? So I was gonna then ask, out of the four of us, who has seen The Godfather and who hasn't? And it looks like the three people who have seen The Godfather. I'm assuming you haven't, Kat, because you asked.
That's
Have you?
literally what I just said.
Yeah, that's why I just wanted to confirm, just to make sure we're all clear on the same page. So the three people who have seen The Godfather think this is a very okay story, and the person who hasn't thinks that it's really, really good. So I think that there's there's some correlation there. I'm not. Again, I think that that's maybe
Well-
oversimplifying it a little bit, but I think that that's a pretty funny coincidence if it's the case.
Okay, so here's the thing, and we'll get back to 91 Days in a second because I do want to bring this up since this is going
I
to
would
be.
hope so. 'Cause
There
this
are
is
three
a
people.
podcast about 91 days. But yes.
There are three people that have seen The Godfather. I have not, and I don't think it's completely fair to say that I haven't seen it and I don't know anything about it because I've seen clips of it and I get the whole overall gist of it. But my thing is, I just don't. I'm not brought in by The Godfather. Let's put it that way. It's
The
not.
Godfather isn't focused on the focus is different. The focus isn't on the family in 91 Days, right? Like
Yeah,
the focus is on outside of the family. We get like how much screen time with the Don in this compared to the head of the Corleone family and the Godfather. So I do think that's like a valid point, Kat. Like, I mean, I don't even think you'd be willing to say that this is like a generally better piece of art than The Godfather, but like
it doesn't bring me in.
it's something different, right? Like
Yeah.
it has it's coming from a different angle, even though the subject matter is similar enough.
Because
For sure.
here's another thing, and this is something that I get that I'm the minority in this discussion right now. But the thing is, my mother, my grandfather, and my grandmother, who are basically my closest family members, have all seen The Godfather, and they all think that it's mediocre
Ooh.
because pretty much the same reason that I just gave. Like they just like there's not.
I like The Godfather. It's not like one of my top, I don't know, 10 films though. Like I think it's really slow and
Exactly.
like
And
plot. Like I understand not liking The Godfather. Like I get that.
Yeah,
like,
well, if it
it's-
doesn't relate to your family, like my family, like, and not that I'm family was a mobsters or anything, but like my family can sit there and see the scene, the whole like 20-30 minutes they spend in Italy and be like, oh, this is maybe what my great grandmother's life was like, or I don't know. Again, there's like the cultural ties that we would have The Godfather, or that I would have The Godfather, might make it more enjoyable for me than for someone like you. So there you go. I think I can also understand not liking it. I just think that it's the reason why I brought that up was because I think for me at least, knowing what The Godfather did with a mobster anime or well,
The
a
Godfather, the
mobs
anime,
yeah,
is
the my
terrible.
Godfather's my
Honestly,
favorite
like
anime.
people
Honestly,
often
yeah,
have, like Kobayashi at the top of their Kyono Annie lists, but like The Godfather Part 2 is my favorite Kyono Annie.
yeah, really.
It's a really good production by them. You gotta give them credit for. I mean, that
It's so crazy. I don't see it, and then like on it, like when The Godfather 3 got picked up by
Studio
JC
um,
Staff
Perot.
or JC
Studio
Staff, yeah.
Perot. Yeah, I was just really disappointed. Who was I trying to Dean? That's who I was thinking of.
Oh,
Dean, Studio
Yeah,
Dean.
Studio Dean. Um.
No,
Anyways, 91 days.
yeah,
um.
whatever.
Okay, so I also wanted to bring up another topic. This one about 91 days. So I know that I mentioned and that everybody else saw the whole shift from good budget animation to slow decline into madness that the animation was.
Yeah,
Um,
pretty bad at certain
so
points.
my topic, I think my question for you guys is, what was at the top of your mind? What was the worst scene, animation wise,
oh,
in this
Episode
anime?
4, the fight scene.
you okay, so which one was that?
So
Uh,
it's they're on the run because the rival family has hired like this big dude to come and like choke him out or whatever. And so, you know, they have this Goliath of a man. In fact, that's what they call him, Goliath.
yeah.
Like after them, but the fight scenes move so slowly. They're all standing still and like grabbing and like moving and like it's just all very static for such a dynamic scene. Like they're supposed to be like scampering around and everything, but everyone's just sort of like standing there and barely moving and stuff because they for sure didn't have the budget to animate that fight scene. Um, and that's the one that stuck out to me is like this is bad. Like that was mine. I don't know. Pete,
was
you had
was
fun.
was there like a good fight scene in this? Really?
I'm not talking about any fight scene in particular, just any scene.
So I'll bring it up later, but there's a scene where Nero is like walking out of the house with his dad, and there's like his henchmen. They're like waiting to get into a car, and they just don't have faces because it's like a long shot, and then when they zoom in, it's like pretty well done. Like when they actually have like zoomed in shots, it's well done. But like this scene is just like none of these people have faces. Like what is I don't know. It was really weird. Just caught me off guard. I'm just like, yeah, this is getting really bad.
Yeah, for me, I would say there wasn't like a specific scene that stood out to me, but like what Pete was saying, like anytime that they didn't feel like there needed to be a lot of detail in like whether that's the background art or in a transition scene or something, you could definitely notice that it was just not there. The effort or the quality was just not there at all. So that's where again, I can't a specific scene there's no time where I was sitting there and went or at least that while I was paying attention that where I went like, oh my god, there's literally like an animation error or something. But I thought that the quality drop is what was most jarring about it, I think, because there were times where it looked pretty okay or pretty good. I think especially earlier on in the series. It's just a matter of the by the end of it, it very clearly, I mean, let's see, what studio is this? Shuka? Studio Shuka?
Whoever their B team is probably sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like whoever they outsourced to do like backgrounds and transition scenes and like things like that.
They did Natsumi's Book of Friends.
Yeah, just like
Murakami,
they're like a
silent
slice of life studio. And it's like, okay, now do
And-
91 days. It's like, well, we
and-
could draw cats.
Well, they did Durarara too, apparently.
Well, this also has them doing a silent voice. So like it's probably things they've like done parts of or whatever.
Does it have them doing a silent voice?
Oh wait, what I'm looking at
It's like, I don't see that
Never
at
mind.
all.
I didn't see
Are you
that
still on
either,
Kyo
yeah.
Annie?
No, I was looking at who produced the anime. That's my bad.
Yeah, no. So this is again, it's got Durarara, 91 Days, and then Natsume's Book of Friends.
They did an OVA for 91 Days.
Yeah, spelled 91
Days
Days with
OVA.
DAZE. Yeah. 91
yeah.
Days is a series of shorts including various disc packages. They focus around Angelo, Nero, and sometimes Corteo in various comedic situations. Wow, that sounds like that would be pretty enjoyable, actually. Maybe we should watch
So
that next time.
even though it wasn't a slice of life, they did make a slice of life out of it.
Yeah, they did.
Um,
Yeah, so there you go.
so
So obviously not a big studio, but yeah, go ahead.
So my probably the least favorite one was when this one was the one that most stuck out to me. So Angelo and Nero were in the like Don's like
Room?
basically office. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just them. Nero was leaning on the desk, and then Angelo was sitting down. And Nero was just nowhere. Like, I mean, not Nero, but Angelo was like he didn't move at all throughout the whole scene. And Nero, whenever he talked, like you could tell that they just did two different mouth animations, and they were just alternating between that for like I think the whole scene was like 30 seconds, which is a ton of time when you are in a very low budget scene. And then they would close up, and then the scenes would just like it's like RTX off and RTX on, basically. Like
That's a good name. That's a very good reference, actually. I like that.
like it was complete. It was complete night and day. And the thing was, like one of the things that we've mentioned here is that is how different the like faces are when it's like the best quality and then the lowest quality. There's a quality in between, and I think those were the qualities that I saw the most. Like the low quality ones were like almost laughable to me, so it didn't make my overall experience that much worse. But it's kind of like in D&D where you either roll a 20 or a 1. Like either way, there's going to be some fun shit that happens, but 10 is the worst number that you can have. Like nothing interesting happens. Like that's how I felt about it, cuz like there were just some scenes where like where you'd have one character looking directly at the quote unquote camera, and like one of his pupils would be slightly off, and it would just like it'd be off just enough to annoy the shit out of me, and it would just like bring my like immersion of the show down. And when it was going from a terrible scene up to a midline scene, it was like, if you're gonna go that way, go all the fucking way. Like that annoyed the shit out of me. And I think that was one of the things that I had to dock a few points from my score for. So yeah, that was just kind of how I felt.
All right.
Yeah, I just enjoy like I don't know. It really didn't bother me, but I also, and I know I'm on an anime podcast right here, don't care about animation. It's just not a thing that ever affects my score, except for
It's a visual medium, so come on.
now and then here and there, which it did affect my score because oh my god. But other than that, it usually just doesn't matter unless it's like otherworldly, like something like
I feel like you should
Violet.
draw people's faces at least. I think that's a
Yeah.
I guess.
Maybe
Yeah.
I have moving people move.
I
We
just
watched Monogatari. No, like
what's wrong with that?
they draw everyone's faces except for the people that they don't need to draw. There are no other characters in Monogatari except for the people
That's
that
fine.
matter.
That show's beautiful.
it's really pretty.
It is really
But-
pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess I could see if you cared about animation. Like, I guess I could just read the 91 Days light novel,
Yeah.
which doesn't exist. But
Yeah. It's like it's an original. Can I talk about my new Pat's psychic thing that I now have?
Oh yeah, so to give context to that for new people, I hate psychic powers. I think they're dumb, and I never like them when they're in a story. I think they ruin or hamper any story that they're involved in. Pete, what is your psychic
Yeah,
powers?
it's trained gunmen who can't shoot. Like, oh my god, it was driving me crazy. It's like I was watching Star Wars all over again. They're, I don't even know, a pretty close distance where I feel like Maggie Simpson in The Simpsons can shoot Mr. Burns. That, spoiler, sorry, that a trained henchman can shoot another human being with multiple rounds. And there's like a scene where they're walking out of like a building, and Angelo notices two dudes just casually picking up Thompsons from a crate and starts shooting. They hit all of their bullets onto one dude. One dude just gets lit up. Everybody else is completely missed. And then Angelo fires back, and it's like shoots like it's like a Naked Gun scene where he just like shoots the outline of the person that they're shooting at. Just like not even close. Like, you've killed how many people in this episode or this show, and then we have other scenes where they're just like point blank with pistols. It's just like, nope, I guess I missed the first shot. Nope, I guess I missed the second shot. It like makes the gun so unimpactful to the show where it's like, that's a threat. I should, like, oh my god, the main character might be shot somewhere. It's like, nah, he's Neo from the Matrix, actually. Just like, see you nerds, just dodging everything. That applies to like almost every single person in the show until it absolutely matters, and then they just get blasted for, I don't know, it's just like you either hit 100% of the shots you take or 0%. There's no in between.
That's true, though. That's just how it works. You know what I mean? Like, you either do or you don't.
Yeah. But like,
and okay, Pete,
yeah, they don't a lot.
I'd like to ask you this question because I actually mentioned this in the Discord.
What's up,
which
Leo?
is why this is coming up.
Yo, sick plug.
So, do you watch buddy cop shows?
I mean, I have.
NCIS.
Oh no. I have a little
Hawaii
bit.
Five-0.
No,
like
I have a little bit of taste in my life.
FBI.
You know who watched those shows? Comatose patients. And then they turn the TV on at the hospital, so they have something to listen to. And it was
My
on
grandfather in a coma right now. What the fuck?
It was at Channel 9, and they're watching the news, and then just so
I think I can hear the like NCIS fans that aren't in the Discord just dropping a podcast.
All
right now.
NCIS fans are 55. They're not listening to our podcast, but it's like they're watching the news. They
My
fell
mom is
asleep.
literally your age.
They
and she
fell
loves
asleep.
NCIS.
They fell asleep, and it just so happened to be like, I don't know, Chicago Fire, and then that's why Chicago Fire has numbers. Like, nobody watches those shows. They're asleep with the TV on.
Quite the hill to die on, Pete.
I would.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
Nobody watches those shows except for.
I'll watch NCIS
Cat's
if it's
mom.
on. Like with like boomers when I'm like hanging out with boomers. Like I
Oh,
think as far as
yo,
boomer
shout out to
TV
John.
goes, it's like well, not my dad, but like, you know, Fran, my father-in-law.
Oh, shout out to Fran. He's a real one. Great
He was
toast at
a
the
real
wedding.
Great toast. The
Great
best
toast.
The best one. Yes.
Yeah, that was my
But
rant.
no, I mean, I think, I don't know, like, did anyone, I didn't notice that. I think because people actually got shot and died, I didn't notice that they missed a lot. Because, like, usually no one ever gets shot. Or they get shot in, like, the
And
shoulder.
anything. Right.
Yeah.
I guess, like,
Yeah,
compare it to The Godfather, where they have Tommy guns.
I'm not going to compare this to The Godfather.
am.
Like, I'm
I'm
just not
comparing it to
going to. If we compare anything we watched to The Godfather...
Okay, compare it to, I don't know, like
Star Wars. There you go.
Casino.
We didn't
Casino.
exactly,
Can I compare it to Casino?
We didn't exactly look at Bacano this way.
Bacano was in like a different light because of like the supernatural elements that were in the show.
Here's the thing. Jacuzzi was a way worse shot than
Jacuzzi
anyone
sucks.
else. And yeah, I understand.
Nobody
sucks.
likes
He's
Jacuzzi.
in,
There with a
he's
Tommy
in
gun.
Bacano, Pete.
What we're trying to get at, Pete, is that you're a hypocrite. That's
No,
what
I'm
we're
not. I'm saying that the context matters in the story that is told. Jacuzzi is immortal. Like, it doesn't matter if he gets shot by a gun or not. He's just gonna be fine.
No, but he can't shoot anyone.
Yeah, because he's a pussy, but I'm just saying, like, the context matters.
He tries to.
Okay, then he cries, and then whatever, and then the chick kisses him
So
for some
basically,
reason.
what
Like,
you're saying is
God,
that
I
you don't
hated that
like.
scene. This is better than Bakano. I've changed my mind.
no, I
Yes!
just want people, if they have guns, to shoot them correctly. Make the impact matter.
Like, again, what if we watched where people get shot?
That we've watched?
Yeah.
Violet Evergarden.
Odd Taxi.
Does anyone get shot in Violet Evergarden?
They
Yes.
do. Yeah. during the
Anyone
train
named?
scene.
Anyone who's not a red shirt?
I don't know.
I don't know. Violet loses her arms because she gets them shot off. I think that's impactful. I don't
They're
know.
not real
Maybe
arms.
They're not.
Um,
No, they're not.
oh,
No, they're not real arms.
well, which time that she gets her arm
She's
shot
not a
off?
real
Because that
girl.
happens twice in the series.
That does happen twice in the series, doesn't it? Oh well, never mind. I can't say anything else.
No
'cause it's
spoilers. No
Yeah,
spoilers.
exactly. I can't say anything. No. I won't say it.
Hey, the movie's gonna be
Anyways.
on Netflix in 3 weeks, baby.
can't wait.
I'm gonna segue this to a thing I liked about the show. We've been too negative about this.
Oh, I do have some things I like about the show. So
Completely average piece of media we watched, and I really liked the characters and like their relationships with each other and stuff. Like I thought they did a good job of, except for Fongo, having like interesting characters that were multidimensional and had
Yeah.
like different motivations and stuff, and like they did a good job of like showing like differences between people when they were like thinking rationally and when they weren't thinking rationally, because like the pressure was up or something like that. I like that. To give it a comparison to like Goodfellas, it's like a D minus Goodfellas when it comes to that sort of thing. But Goodfellas is like absolutely phenomenal with
incredible.
that. But like I really liked, I liked Nero, right? And I knew that like our main character was going to try to kill him, but like he was charismatic and like a fun guy to like be around with as far as murderous mob members go. And I don't know about you guys, but like I often like how worth it do you think all of the things Angelo did was, from like as far as a justification for getting his like revenge type of deal?
So personally, for me, I really liked how Angelo's goal wasn't to make the world a better place. His goal wasn't to stop all mobsters. His goal wasn't just this like broad reaching shonen protagonist goal where he was going to make the world a better place by making sure that none of the mobs live anymore. His goal was just to get revenge. And I think that he was able to. I think that because of that narrowed focus, it didn't feel like it was. It didn't feel like a shonen. And even though. Hold on.
It's not labeled as a shonen.
Okay. So, like, even though it wasn't a shonen, like, some stories like that can feel like a shonen. And it made it feel a lot more immersive, I guess you could say, instead of like cannon fodder. And it just so Angelo's motives were like okay, so this is one of the things I was going to mention a little bit later, but I can mention it now. So at the beginning, you see how Angelo is like dead set on like taking out the people that he's going to take out because he almost immediately takes up Anno, and then he starts like plotting to take out different people, and he ends up dragging his friend along, and that moment where he faked the death of Nero, like that was for me that was a really good pull, because like at the back of my mind I knew that like that there were a bunch of other people in that show, and I thought that honestly, if that was going to be the play, then hey, like he could figure out a way to get to the other members of the family. So I legit thought that Nero was going to die there, and I thought that was a really good pull from a narrative standpoint. But I like there were a lot of twists and turns that made me really like feel immersed in it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that they did a good job of humanizing all of the assassination targets to like some extent, which I think is good when you do something like this, because I don't think you should just villainize them the entire time to make cheering for, vigilante justice like very easy. I think that it's like a intricate line to walk, and I think it does a pretty good job of it.
I really
Also-
I like the aspect that Angelo didn't really. Not only did he just want to take out who was responsible for his family getting murdered, but like crush the family essentially. It wasn't just I'm going to kill the three people and then it's done. It's like no, I'm going to take everything from you, and I really enjoyed like that aspect of the revenge plot because like if somebody killed my family, I feel like I would also like want to take everything that they had for me type of thing. Because nothing comes between family. Vin Diesel, Dominic Toretto, rest in peace.
Did he actually die?
No, I just made that up.
No.
God damn it.
Yeah, like that. Man, these jokes are something today. Pete.
Somebody's going to laugh. Somebody thinks I'm funny. My mom thinks I'm funny, so.
Hey,
That's-
if you laughed at Pete's joke,
You're
comment what you actually heard, because you must have misheard him.
dead. Yeah, exactly.
rewind it and see if it's just as funny
It's
as it
kind of
was
like
the first
Pat's
time.
joke at the beginning of the
Probably not.
episodes.
Yo, let me do the jokes. Let me do the jokes. I'm the funny guy.
No, you're not.
Pat builds the ramps. Miles does the merchandising and the marketing. Cat's the style guy, and I like the party.
Build ramps, huh? That's cool.
Did
That's a pretty cool
nobody
job.
watch fucking Hot Rod? Come on.
No.
God. Tough crowd.
You gotta remember your
Mako. If
20
Mako's
years older
listening,
than me.
if Mako's
You're-
listening, she's gonna find that funny.
Yeah,
There's
different
a subtle
generations.
chirping in here.
You should watch. You should watch Hot Rod. It's so good.
That's fine. All right, we've gone
No, I
off.
shouldn't.
Gone off enough.
It's-
I just wanted to throw my 2 cents into this general conversation about characters. I think that we all said that we liked him. I would be inclined to agree. I thought that their interactions were fun. I thought that the dialogue. I watched sub. I don't know what you guys did, but I thought the sub did a pretty good job translating as well. Like there were a couple weird moments, but in general, like that was probably one of the more enjoyable things about the show for me was the interactions that the characters had. I thought, especially near the end, that final drive together was pretty interesting for them when they were talking between the two leads, between Angelo and God fucking Vanetti or Nero, Nero, yeah. I thought that their conversation at the end was very interesting because it's I mean it is kind of just like the generic, was the revenge worth it? Like that kind of conversation. But I thought that they made it interesting, at least to me. So I don't know how you guys felt about that.
I thought it was a cool ending.
I wasn't expecting. I wasn't sure what they were. Basically, there's like three potential endings you can have, right? You can have they don't kill each other. You can have Angelo kills Nero, and you can have Nero kills Angelo. Like, those are the three endings that are possible by the time they go on this drive, right? And I was not expecting Nero kills Angelo. I was expecting the other two to happen. I don't think I was expecting them to, because like I think Nero understood why Angelo did what he did, and I think Angelo, I mean, clearly grew to like really care about Nero as like a friend or whatever. Like they respected each other to some extent. So I don't know if I was expecting that, but I think it was like a satisfying ending.
Almost like a mercy kill, honestly. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Angelo has no more motivation, right? He's like, man, I don't even feel like I don't feel like I've done it what I need to do after the 7 years or whatever, right? Like he's like I don't feel rewarded or satisfied, but now my life also has no purpose because like I killed so many people, I have no purpose. And then he walks away. It's like, well, there you go. He almost like killed him out of mercy, like because he has nothing else to live for, which of course that's never true. You always have something to live for, right? But like in his perspective and from Nero's perspective, maybe they thought he didn't, so that's why he
Well, it's
did it.
also when the person who's like, I no longer have anything to live for, has like the blood of 50 people on their hands,
Yeah.
and will like always be hunted and stuff. I think it's a little more of like like at the end of a Mice and Men.
Oh God, Lenny. Oh man.
What
Oh.
I'm saying is that
Oh
Angelo's
God.
Lenny.
Okay,
Angelo
speaking
The
is
Damn.
speaking of
Venice
that,
are
just
the
look at the
kid
beach.
that Lenny hugged too hard.
No.
okay, Miles. I speaking of that comparison, I did want to bring this up because I legit thought about that while watching the show. When Corteo was about to get offed, when uh Azalea and Corteo were talking in there, and Azalea was going to kill Corteo. Like I was thinking that in the middle of them talking, I was gonna hear like Corteo going on a subtle reference of a Bison Man, and then in the middle of speaking, just get offed.
So wait, do we mean Avio? Like his fake name, his persona, Angelo's? Avillo?
Avillo is Corteo, the guy who makes the liquor.
No, Corteo is Corteo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Angelo is Avilo.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Avilio.
Sorry, yeah,
Avilio.
Avilio. Yeah, yeah. My bad.
Azalea is the rapper.
Yeah, Iggy.
yeah.
Or a tree. I just wanted to make sure that's who you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, what did you guys think about that scene? I thought that was a really interesting scene. I don't think I would ever be as good of a friend as Corteo, where like, you know, like I'm not willing to die for someone else's like crazy revenge plot, like regardless of how close I am
Well,
to them.
it's because he was going to like essentially get murked regardless. So it's like that's how I interpret it. It's just like, do I want to die by the hands of my friend, or do I want to be hunted? Essentially, that's kind of
Yeah,
like
if
how
you-
I viewed it.
But he did get on a boat and like get away to some extent. Like he'd have to lay low.
Yeah, he could have easily. I mean, I did like his character. I think he should just ran away. It would have been better.
I mean, I guess that's what I'm like asking about. Like, do you think that scene had, like, do you think the decision was like realistic enough to have impact like that?
So
Because it was something that I was on the fence about.
okay, so when it comes to Corteo, I feel like even though Corteo could have gotten away, at that point he had been with the mob for 3 months, and I get it's only 3 months, but like there's like no at that point he hasn't been around the people that he has been with for the rest of his life, and he's
Agreed.
lost contact with them, and Angelo is the only person that is like has any tie to him. And at that point, like he gets to go back to like where they were staying before the 91 days started. But I feel like even if he did get away, he would have felt the guilt and the unknowingness. Is that a word? I think so.
The uncertainty?
Yeah.
The unsurety, yes. He would have felt the unsurety of them just like of Angelo being alive or dead, not knowing whether he's going to come back or not. And yeah, he might have found a will to live, but like he might have found a will to live later, but like at that point Angelo is his only will to live. Like he doesn't feel any tie to the people that are taking care of him. He doesn't feel any tie to pretty much anybody that is that is near him except for Angelo at that point, because everybody else has been a potential enemy, and he's the only one that he can trust. And even then, that's put to the test, because you could see him like just being. You can see him just being like, I don't know if this dude is my friend, because he he was literally, he might have been trying to kill me throughout that whole time that I ratted him out
Wait, you didn't think
to go
Angelo and
slow.
Corteo were friends?
Well, Corteo doesn't think so for a period of time because Angelo it basically is like too obsessed with revenge to be a good friend, right? Like
Yeah,
they're definitely friends, but what Kat I think is saying is that like there was a period of time where their friendship was up in the air and that there was like doubt sown in there, right?
Okay.
Like
that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. Um, and like,
Yeah, I guess to me,
and
like, Angelo's like a psychopath because, like, if you have to choose between continuing your revenge, plot or, you know, maybe helping your friend escape the mob, because he honestly isn't. Like, if Corteo, like, went away, like, the family would continue. Like, this wasn't some, like. I mean, they killed Fongo, the evil oil baron with the mustache twirls, but, like, to me, I felt like it was just, like, a really odd like placement, just like, yeah, kill me, can do what you gotta do, Angelo, and then it's like bang. I was like, all right, I don't know. I was
he
kind of
did
like,
try to help him escape, but then
I feel like I would have tried harder, I guess, is like what I would say.
well, by the time they're there, you can't try harder. You're either
yeah,
both dead or Corteo is dead. That's the reality of it because you have been outed for
Butterfly effect, I
saving
wouldn't have been put in that situation.
Corteo.
Yeah.
Well, so like yeah, so like he tried to save Corteo, but he got caught. Right? Corteo learns this, so he comes back to like protect him instead of just running away. Um, because what's his name, the fucking nerd one, Barbaro, was um
onto them.
on to Angelo for essentially the entire time. Like a normal human, like, oh my god, you've known this guy for a month. Are you sure you could trust him? It's like, yeah, absolutely, you could trust him. He's cooler than you. He doesn't wear glasses. That was some actual Nero dialogue right there.
I could see that because I wear
Yeah.
glasses.
Yeah, you nerd. Um, yeah, I don't know. I thought that was interesting. You know, just that whole scene was like, it seemed like a little melodramatic. Um,
Agreed. As someone who usually likes melodrama.
yeah,
Like, it
they
was a
they were like
lot.
really hamming it up. Um, I think like if you had just caught them like going and captured them both, like he decides to help him get out, and then they get caught then, and then Corteo like lies to say like, oh, he wasn't helping me get out. I was like trying to convince him to like let me go, or you know, something where he doesn't have to go back to his own death for seemingly no reason. Um, you know, and then that even makes more sense. Like, prove that you weren't helping him escape by shooting him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, uh, as opposed to like them just dropping. Like, okay, we have like 3 people saying that you were at the dock with him and he escaped, and then it's like, oh, he came back and I shot him. That fixes everything, right? And they're like, yep, that works.
You were real one. You were real one, Angelo.
So I don't know. That was interesting. I think it was like they tried to do the same thing at the end, or they did do the same thing at the end with much better results, right? Like the final interactions between Nero and Nero shooting Angelo, and all of that. You know, I think as we've all said, we like that. It was better than the Angelo Corteo dynamic, I think. Um,
Yep, I agree.
Um,
Anyone have anything else? Other points they want to bring up?
yeah. So also throughout the show, you could see this is one of the things that I wanted to talk about. At the beginning, you can, because I already mentioned it once. At the beginning, you could see Angelo having this full on. I'm going to. Uh,
Oh, cat's dying. Rest in peace to the
I don't
cat.
remember Angelo having a
No,
coffin
he's
fit.
cosplaying as Nero's dad right now.
What does it say? Or as the Godfather, before he. Nah, never mind. I won't spoil the
No.
Godfather because
Okay.
That's a very
Yeah,
sensitive
it's
thing.
just important not to spoil that 80-year-old movie.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Anyway, sorry,
Anyway,
Kat. Go ahead.
80.
so
That's wrong.
it's
Yeah, it's
older
like
than
40.
I am, so whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. So
52, it's 50.
but uh, at the beginning, you can see Angelo having this like full steam ahead. I'm going to kill everybody in this family, and then in the middle, you can kind of see him kind of blending in and not really wanting to kill pretty much anybody else in the family, because he really doesn't. And I think that kind of started around. It started especially around the time that Nero and Angelo were in what's it called? The time where Nero and Angelo were in the factory where Lawless Heaven is made, and he ends up killing whoever the dude is that's in there. Uh,
The
by
lasagna
way,
Don.
yes, yeah, there you go. And because of that, he ends up like just
See, I think that like because he like effectively does kill a bunch of other members of the family because like he
Oh
has the
yeah.
very calculated idea. Like he doesn't himself. He just fabricates scenarios that involve the family getting killed, right? Like when he kills the other Dawn, he knows exactly what's going to happen to like the uncle and everyone else in the family. Because like he's associated with them, and he killed the Dawn, and the people who were like working with the other family from the Venetti family, you know, told them that they could trust Angelo. So like everyone who thought they could trust Angelo couldn't trust Angelo because he was only working for himself the entire time.
yeah,
Like I think the only person he had any concerns about killing was Nero. I also thought it was really interesting that the Dawn died of consumption like during the mass shooting. That was quite convenient.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that happens sometimes, like heart attacks and stuff, like during that stuff, or I don't know exactly.
Heart attack. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I don't know if like
Yeah,
tuberculosis gets
someone has
worse.
a heart
Hey,
attack at some
TV.
random time.
Yo,
You
TV.
know?
Oh no! All the gun violence has really made my tuberculosis act up.
Yeah.
It's deadly.
It is. No, it'll kill
Yeah.
you dead. It's just quite like that is quite the 5 minute time frame to die.
oh yeah,
Amen.
One thing
You don't get to choose.
That's true. You know.
Usually.
Yeah.
You hope you don't.
Can I say one thing that I really
Corteo did.
enjoyed about 91 Days? And
Yes.
it's the brutality of some of the kills that they have is pretty reminiscent of other mobster movies where a lot of the time people just get whacked by getting shot, beat up, whatever, they die. The scene where Fongo serves people lasagna with the body in the lasagna, I thought was fantastic. It reminded me a lot of like the horse head in Godfather, just like here you go. The thing you love the most is now in front of you. Like dig up. And then the other scene was at the last like theater scene or whatever in the gunfight, and the guy gets stabbed in the back. He takes the knife and just stabs the dude in the neck. I thought that was fantastic because everyone always just like stabs in the chest or whatever. Now this dude just like, fuck you, stabs him right in the neck. It was so brutal, and I like the where they turn that up because that happens in a lot of mobster movies, especially when like the prominent characters get like whacked or something like that. If you've ever seen, can I spoil Casino?
Sure.
Okay,
I've never seen it.
No, you can't. No,
When-
yeah,
Go
of course.
ahead.
when
Yeah,
like
go ahead.
Joe Pesci's character just gets beat to death by metal bats in a cornfield is just so much different than how every other person is killed in that movie. And I love it when they do that. And I thought that was like a great example of like the mobster mentality of when you take out like a higher person, you do it in like a grand way. And I thought that was great what they did that in 91 Days.
So note to self, Pete likes brutal murder.
When yeah, in context, absolutely. It adds like how these mobsters really are. Like you don't mess with the family. If you mess with the family, like
Oh,
you're not
gosh.
only getting whacked, like you're getting dragged to a cornfield or you're going to a wood chipper and stuff like that. It's like you are disappearing from the face of the earth. Like
There's no law like that can stop it either.
Yeah.
Right? Like that I think that's the main purpose of that
And that's
stuff too.
and that's like the like the mob doesn't have to like kill people to. I mean they do, but like you hear the stories of like Tony Two Thumbs, and it's like you don't fuck with Tony Two Thumbs because he whacked that
He'll
dude.
give you the clamps.
Yeah, he'll clamp you, and he'll take your insides and put it into a doll and give it to your sister or something like that. Like you don't. I think that's like the beauty of like the mob fear aspect. Why people fear the mob, because like you're not going to have an open casket funeral. You're going to be like talking to Nemo down by the bridge when you got two concrete cinders like tied to your feet. That type of shit. And I love it. And like the one thing that I watch outside of anime is like mobster stuff. Like I love mobsters. They're so much fun. Watch The Sopranos. It's the best anime out there.
Yeah.
That's all I got, boys.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say either, so I don't know if you guys are ready, we can move on to our final
We've talked
thoughts.
for a bit. The Godfather, or not the Godfather. The OP slaps. I just want to say that. I love whatever
Yeah.
band it is.
I liked it as
It's the
more
same band
episodes.
that made the opening to Pet and
Psychic Best.
Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh, they did Tokyo Ghoul too. Interesting.
Really?
Mhm.
That's interesting. That's good to know. But all right, Miles, why don't you start us off with your final thoughts and score?
Sure. Well, not perfect. It was fine. I enjoyed it. You know, I was intrigued enough by our main character and his interactions with, I guess, our other main character, to, uh, you know, propel myself through the show and ignore some of the flaws with, maybe some like a little bit of suspect writing and like, some hit and miss animation. Honestly, all of the animation was pretty bad. Some of the like art was good, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't well animated, but like various stills in it were quite good. This is like a genre that we don't get a ton of in anime, so it was fun to see like an anime take on like a mobster sort of thing, like this setting. I'm not gonna knock it for being worse than The Godfather. I try not to like, dock things for being similar to other media, and like because if you have two pieces of media that are similar, one of them's got to be worse, right? So like, is this Smooth Brain The Godfather? Probably, but that's fine. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. All right. Pete, what about you?
Yeah, so call back to our The Girl Who Leapt Through Time episode where we, as a cast, pretty much unanimously agreed that it was the most 8 out of 10 movie / anime that we've ever seen. We all unanimously gave it an 8. This is that version of me in terms of it being a 6. not my qualms were pretty minor, and my like things that I really liked about it were very few. It was like right in the middle. I wasn't dreading watching the show. There was we didn't really talk about like the dub, but I think when we did Bakano and that dub was fantastic. I was hoping for a good mobster style dub. It was okay. There were some people that I really enjoyed the voice acting for, and there was some where I thought they fell a little flat. So everything to me just lands right dead in the middle. I'm giving it a 6. It was fine.
I think that's a completely fair score or fair way to phrase it. Like you said, the um the girl who left through time. That's a really funny one because it is our perfect 8.0 anime, right? Like on our list, it's and we all did same cast size too. I think it was 4 of us.
It was
so
3.
I I was out, but I did give it an 8.
You did. Also, happy
Well, that's how you
birthday,
feel.
Mako.
You're
Yeah,
too kind.
as we talk about our perfect 6 out of 10s, it's important to remember
Whoa.
to say happy birthday, Mako.
Wow. Okay. Wow. 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 You know what? Your wedding was a 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
There
man,
I said
I'm
it.
about it.
There
Still
I-
got married.
Yeah. There I said it. Except that steak was a 10.
That was so mean. Oh my god, that was so good, but that was so mean. Um,
There's a lot of shots being thrown around, and I'm glad that I'm not the one with the gun.
yeah.
You know
No,
what's
it's-
interesting is that do you guys like you see like Pete got that like little Snyder mark in, but it like missed me. Do you think Pete's distaste for the people missing all their shots in 91 Days is like a little like self
Wow.
Oh, it's definitely
reflection?
self-hate.
Okay.
You know what I
He's missing
mean?
all,
Okay.
because he's missing all his jokes in this
Yeah,
episode.
like
You're
he
right,
like
yeah.
it's like a little too real for him.
You know what? I would say something,
He has
but
missed the target every single time he's made a joke today.
it's so it's so true that I'm not even going to say anything. But I'm super funny.
Damn, we're really
Yeah,
we all
no,
just
for
hate,
sure. You're very funny.
we all hate each other tonight. Apparently.
Oh no, this is great. I love this conversation.
Oh no, I know, but we all just apparently hate each other. It's fine.
I've been nice to everyone who isn't Pete.
That's true. You have been very nice to me, as always.
I love you, buddy.
Yeah, I
I
love
mean
you
to
too.
everybody that isn't Miles.
Pat, what have you got then for your final score, you asshole? Sorry, God.
You're right. So for me, I really enjoyed it. Maybe it's because I am very not intrigued in The Godfather. But I would actually like to compare it to a show that we did actually watch on this podcast, Bakano. And here's the thing. So Bakano, I really enjoyed it. I gave it an 8 on the show. And the thing is, Bakano was really, really fun for different reasons than I thought this was really, really fun. Personally, and like I said during the discussion, if things are really, really bad, they can be so bad they're funny. And I thought that there were some scenes, like just some clips of this show where they go from like really, really good looking scene to like terrible, and it makes me chuckle a little bit, and that made me raise my score a little bit, and that's more of a subjective thing. But you know, it's my fucking score. I don't give a shit.
Completely fair to
yeah.
have your own biased score for a show. There's nothing wrong with that.
But
What is it?
So my my score is also an 8 out of 10 for different reasons than Bakano, because it was fun in a different way.
I think giving this an 8 out of 10 is absolutely fine. Like if
Yeah.
it really hit with you, like that's fine. It's not like
It's not like offensively bad, like giving Violet like anything higher than a 7. You know, like,
I'm fine with that too.
yeah, I'm just trolling Miles. I'm joining on the Miles hate bandwagon train today. Apparently,
No, we just said we had a truce.
I know.
Betrayed.
Well, that yeah, I didn't betray you too hard though.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Yes. Well, you know, we're just friends. We're not family, and that's what the thing is. We
Family.
gotta be
Nothing stronger
family.
than family.
Nothing stronger than
Nothing.
family.
Blood
You know what? The
is
weakest
thicker than
family
water.
is the Venetti family. Did you see how all of them fell over fucking immediately?
Yeah.
Weak bones.
Yeah. Blood is thicker than water, even though that expression is meant to mean the opposite
Exactly.
of what was said.
Which is hilarious because
It's
that
pretty
was the whole
funny.
analogy of the show.
I suppose so. Yeah. Wow. Look at that. Well, look at me being topical with my poor.
Also, blood is
You didn't
water.
even know it.
Blood is just water. It's like 99% water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? There you
Yeah.
go.
There's some like
Still
serum
thicker
mixed in
though.
there.
It is still thicker though, technically.
Depending on the word.
Blood viscosity.
See, he knows science words. I don't. There you go. All right. While Miles is finding out the viscosity of water and blood, I will give my final thoughts. Again, this show wasn't like offensively bad to me. I just didn't particularly latch onto it as much as I would have liked to, or as much as I like to with Watch Club shows. I guess I should say specifically. You know,
What
because like
is non-Newtonian?
I don't know,
Sorry,
man.
this is. I'll talk about it after the podcast.
gonna say, I don't know what
This
this
is really
is.
cool. One, blood is thicker than water by quite a bit, and two, blood doesn't. Anyway, continue. This is
Listen
really-
to our next podcast
What
that
is-
we're doing is going to be the Science Show with Pete, Miles, Pat, and me.
You know your
Nope.
own name, right? Oh, is that it? No, you didn't want to be part of our science
I
podcast.
said me, motherfucker.
Oh, it did? Oh, you might cut out. My bad. Yeah, where was I? Oh, I was talking about the show that we were watching, right? What was that show again? 91 Days? Yeah, I don't know. It was not, yeah, so when I'm watching Watch Club shows, there we go. I found my train of thought. I don't know, I want to be a little bit more invested, and this one didn't hook me and like really keep me invested by the end of it. Again, there were parts that I liked, but the art was pretty distracting too at certain points. Distractingly mediocre or bad. So I think this show overall is just very fine. And on Mal, what's a fine? It's a 6 out of 10, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. 6 out of 10 for me. So that brings up our aggregate score or our total score. Not, I don't know why I said aggregate. To 6.75 out of 10. That is our average score for all of us here for 91 days. So yeah, I think that wraps up our discussion of the with the worst Godfather. Yep, no one can comment on that. No one can respond to that. Nope, we're done talking about it.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
Final.
I'm
It's
sorry.
That
final.
puts it between
No, it's
Princess
not.
Principal
It's
and
not.
Drifters, which I'm fine with.
I'm kidding, Kat. It's final though. I whatever. I go watch The Godfather if you haven't. Which Kat,
No.
go watch The Godfather. Holy shit,
No.
it's so good. All right, moving on. That puts us. Yeah, that does put us between what? What did you say? Drifters and
Princess Principal.
Really? Oh, poor Princess Principal really got shafted, I think, by having too many people voting.
It got a 7. That's pretty fair.
Yeah.
It was like 88766, I think.
Oh, because
I think that was one of
Happy
those
did
sixes.
like that one girl who had
Oh,
huge
Dorothy.
tits. Yeah, he had like
Dorothy, the goat. Yeah,
Yeah,
the best
Dorothy is
girl
the
in the
goat.
show. Yep. I almost watched the movie. I almost did like a few days ago. But
I
then
did
remembered
watch
that
the
I
movie.
don't watch anime anymore. So there you go. And no, that bad joke. Whatever.
Good thing it's
Swing
my
and a miss.
podcast and I watch
Yeah,
anime.
not mine. Yeah, good thing. All right, Miles, you hid the voting results from us, which is a little scary for me. So what is the let's run through the nominations one more time. And,
Sure. I was supposed to say Kat never voted, so
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
he could have
No.
changed it because we had a tie for first place, but again,
Oh,
for the
no.
third
Oh,
time in a
no.
row, we've had legacy points matter. In third place, we have 2 shows with 10 points. We have 86 and Rosario Vampire Season 2.
Oh,
Oh,
damn
thank
it!
God,
Damn it!
thank God! Oh my God!
Stop the vote. Stop the vote. Stop the count.
Stop the count.
Stop the count.
God, I'm surrounded by white people.
Yes, you are.
Good one,
Somebody
Cat.
found that funny. Somebody actually found that funny.
And then, so we have a tie for first here, but the show that came in second, due to having one less legacy point than the winner, is Domestic Girlfriend.
God damn it!
Oh,
I wanted to talk about that so bad.
It's the second. Actually, it's the second week in a row. It's tied for first and lost to the legacy point.
Yeah, what a
So,
shame.
um,
What idiot thought of rules like that, man?
it's like who spent hours coming up with it.
Yeah,
And we will be watching Death Parade.
woo!
that's gonna be a
Which,
fun show to talk
yeah,
about. I
I'm
think.
excited about that. I've been nominating it a lot, so we'll
Yes,
finally
another
get
win
there.
for Miles on the
It's been
add
a
it to the
minute.
tally.
It's like 4 episodes.
Yeah, it's been like 3 or 4 episodes. It's like more.
It's
than
more than the
normal.
first start of the first part of the whole podcast because Miles won.
I won
several
3 in a
times
row of the first 4, so
Yeah, yeah, you did, didn't you? And he tallies the votes. Coincidence. Very funny coincidence. But yeah, so now that we know we're watching Death Parade, Miles, I'm putting you on the spot. What are you nominating?
I'm
this week?
nominating the Ghibli film, The Tale of Princess Kaguya.
The Tale of Princess Kaguya. All right, yeah, and we're gonna have a short nomination list this week, numbers wise. That should be. Wait, did I? It just occurred to me. Did I vote for 86 when I nominated it last week? I think I did. I think I did.
Wow.
so maybe it should
Yep.
get a legacy point.
You did. Yeah,
I don't
we
remember
will
if I
be.
nominated or not. But yeah.
Would you like to replace? Well, so you probably would have moved Death Parade up and then put Tanya at third.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That okay.
Because
So
I just thought about it, I'm like, oh, I have to nominate 86 again, and it's like, wait a minute, why did I vote for 86 then?
okay, so that would make it Death Parade in first with 15, Domestic in second with 13, and then Rosario third with 10. Is how that would be. Okay, cool. I have the legacy points filled out with corrected voting, with legal voting.
There we go. Yeah, wow. Glad I caught the collusion before it actually happened, unlike other people in the past week or two. So yeah, what have you got to nominate, Pete?
I'm going to nominate a show that a friend of the podcast, he's been a guest of the podcast, Mr. Sora himself, recently gave it a 10 out of 10 that aired this season that I did not watch. That is the case study of Vanitas.
Benitez.
Okay, as a
The
796 on Mal, it's pretty solid.
That's interesting. I haven't read
Historical
anything about it.
vampire. I mean, okay.
It's Bones and
That's-
it's getting a second season, so
It's like half of what I like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know that
vampires.
you don't like history.
it's
that
a
much.
Twilight.
totally.
It's a Twilight podcast.
It's the vampires is what I'm interested in. Yeah, not the history. Interesting. We could also just do Joron and still get a little bit of both.
Yeah, except that
Either
show
way.
sucks, so let's not do that.
Nah, it was very average. It was better than
Tell it to
91
its
Days.
Mal score.
Somehow, yeah, that was rough. Kat, what have you got to nominate?
I have a perfect show to nominate. I
Oh,
really
boy.
do.
I'm excited.
So there's a lot of shows that we talk about in this Discord, right? A lot of the shows that we talk about are sometimes really fun, sometimes really shitty, sometimes they're just annoying. And there's one show that one of the things that we love to talk about are like really controversial shows. Some shows that like we really hate or we really love. This is one of those shows that if you've read the source material, you really, really love it. And it seems like if you hate the source material or you haven't read the source material, you hate the show too. Or you might think it's meh.
It's Redo of a Healer, isn't it?
No. And it can really be boiled down to one phrase. Fuck Rachel.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
so-
would have so much fun defending Rachel.
I have a poster
can't wait.
in my background of that show.
I am going to nominate Tower of God.
That's
Yes, Tyler, I'm nominating that so you can vote for it.
that would be. I don't know if he likes the anime or not. I don't know if he'd want us to talk about it or not because for one, he doesn't watch anime, and two,
I've dropped the manual like 8 times. So
Yeah.
It's really good.
it's okay.
You're
And,
okay.
and by that I mean I dropped it on chapter 2 like 8 times in a row.
You see what I mean? This will be a great discussion.
Yeah, well, Rachel did nothing wrong, so we're fine. All right.
And that's just objectively wrong statement.
No,
What
I
she did
disagree.
wrong was ever associate with the fucking loser that is Bam.
Right. Yes, you're right. So sorry, that was objectively wrong. She just did what she had to do to survive and to thrive in that terrible world that they live in. But yeah, all right. I guess we need to all vote for this show so we can talk about it. And yeah, I guess I'll just re-up 86. It keeps getting legacy points. So
Well,
maybe
except for this time because you cheated, so it didn't get one.
well,
This
I
time.
caught myself cheating at least.
Correct.
Yeah. Accidentally. So there you go. I'll nominate it again this time though, and maybe it'll get a legacy point again because yeah, my shows don't win. Although we disproved that recently with Elfin Lead, and we saw how well that went. So
You also
and
got what was the other one?
now and then, here and there. Yeah, another one that went really well. I think we all liked it a lot. So
I mean, you picked like unique shows. I'm just like, ooh, top of Mal. What haven't I seen? So.
yeah, there you go. I do pick very unique shows, don't I? I try. Except for this one where I picked Top of Mal. Ooh, what So, we'll see. All right, but I think that wraps it up for this week. So, Pete, why don't you close us out?
Yes, if you have made it this far in the episode, thank you very much. If you'd like to support the podcast, the best way to do that is like, comment, subscribe, follow, leave a review, depending on whatever platform you are listening / watching us on. If you're interested in talking with us about anime, manga, sports, video games, whatever, and our link tree in the description below is the contact information to all of our socials. So come join us if you'd like to talk about that stuff. Next week will be my part 1 review of the currently wrapping up summer seasonals. Got some spicy ones for you. We're going to be talking some 2-Year Eternity, maybe some girlfriend, who knows? The possibilities are literally endless. So, we will see you next Monday for that. Otherwise, in 2 weeks, we will be watching Death Parade. We will see you then. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace.